The president is pointing the finger of blame at just about everyone except Vladimir Putin in Moscow after special counsel Robert Mueller indicted 13 Russian officials and 3 businesses last week. The Kremlin this morning is calling the allegations unfair and baseless. And now a number of the president's critics are accusing Mr. Trump of failing to stand up to Russia. This morning, new signs the president's frustrations with the Russia probe are boiling over after special counsel Robert Mueller charged 13 Russians with engineering a massive social media and field operations campaign aimed at meddling in the 2016 election. Over the weekend, the president played the blame game, lashing out in a tweet storm at former President Obama for doing nothing to thwart Russia, and at the FBI for missing signals sent out by the Florida school shooter, accusing the agency of spending too much time trying to prove Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. There is no collusion, he wrote. And in one stunning tweet, the president writing, "They are laughing their asses off in Moscow. Get smart, America." The president's critics slamming him for not calling out the interference itself.
I think this indictment is not only an indictment of the Russian figures involved, it's also an indictment of the inaction of this administration.
Even most Republicans acknowledging the enormity of the incident.
What this indictment tells us is what some of us have known all along. Russia is not our friend. This is his job. This is exactly what we wanted him to do.
All weekend, the president was on defense, denying he ever absolved Russia of meddling in the election. The Russian hoax was that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia. It never did. But the president has frequently cast doubt on whether Russia meddled.
I believe that President Putin really feels, and he feels strongly, that he did not meddle in our election.
That was a Democrat hoax. It was an excuse for losing the election.
The president even undercutting his own national security advisor after H.R. McMaster said on Saturday,
As you can see with the FBI indictment, the evidence is now really incontrovertible and available in the public domain.
The president firing back. General McMaster forgot to say that the results of the 2016 election were not impacted or changed by the Russians. While it's true the indictment does not say that Russia changed the outcome of the election, American intelligence officials have said they have no way of calculating the effect of the interference. Now, the president was up and tweeting overnight not about the Russia probe, but instead about Oprah, almost baiting her to challenge him in 2020, tweeting, "Just watched a very insecure Oprah Winfrey, who at one point I knew very well, interview a panel of people on 60 Minutes. The questions were biased and slanted, the facts incorrect. Hope Oprah runs so she can be exposed and defeated, just like all of the others." Now, there has been a lot of speculation about whether Oprah Winfrey will run for president after she gave that impassioned speech at the Golden Globes, but Oprah has said she's not interested. As for the president, he returns from Mar-a-Lago later today. Savannah.
And Kristen, back to Russia's attack on the U.S. Is the Trump administration planning to do anything about it?
Well, that's the key question. So far, the president has shown little appetite for retaliating against Russia. Mr. Trump didn't mention anything about retribution or next steps in his tweet storm over the weekend, as we saw. And for context, Congress has passed sanctions against Russia, Savannah, for interfering in the election. But so far, the Trump administration hasn't actually imposed them. In fact, the only robust sanctions that have been implemented against Russia for meddling in the 2016 race were under former President Obama. Now, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson did say overnight that the administration is evaluating possible sanctions for individuals. Still, many Democrats and some Republicans say this administration just isn't being tough enough against Russia. Those critics say the root of the problem may be that the president takes personally the issue of Russian meddling. He sees it as a tool that Democrats are using to try to delegitimize his victory, and that, critics charge, may be clouding his judgment. Savannah.
Kristen Welker leading us off at the White House. Thank you.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.